Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's call. My name is Sheila Dixon. I'm the Executive Director of the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce, and we are very pleased and honored to bring our IT specialists and potential members of the Chamber to talk about technology and its impact on minority businesses. So at this time, I'd like to just take the opportunity to turn it over to my co-host, Caprice.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm Caprice Ayers, the owner and CEO of JuneGem Technologies, an IT professional service firm here in Hyattsville, Maryland. We want to thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we're going to start by having a little bit of an opener from our host and a few words from our sponsors.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul Davis, and I'm one of the managing partners of CDP and Associates LLC. And we specialize in technology, everything from technology management, insertion, integration, and commercialization. And because we do, we had a concern that I'm happy to share with our business partners in not only the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce and other Chamber of Commerce, but also with the Alliance Technology Consortium, and that is technology's impact on minority business. For those who remember their history, the Industrial Revolution took about 106 years, and right now we're having the equivalent leap in technology every 6 months. Think of that. What took 106 years is occurring every 6 months now. And that, with all the other disruptive forces that are out there, are having an impact on our minority entrepreneurs and business community. And I just felt that we needed to address that and see how we can support them, aid them, and help develop them, because they're one of the greatest untapped resources of the United States. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barry Duvall, President of the Virginia State Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this program and to bring you a greeting on behalf of the 26,000 members of the Virginia Chamber of Commerce. You know, it's an exciting time to be in business in the Commonwealth as we come out of the pandemic and begin to recognize that technology is going to help us transcend into a new economy. The fastest growing sector of our economy is the knowledge-based economy. So I'm pleased to see your panel focusing on technology and specifically technology's impact on minority businesses. Virginia has been recognized as a leader in cybersecurity and a leader in technology across the United States. You may not know, but over 50% of the world's internet traffic passes through Virginia every day. We are a hub for technology centers and data centers, and we are a hub for cybersecurity and technology workers. I'm really pleased that the Virginia Chamber can partner with the organization sponsoring this event in order to be a part of this program. I want you to know that we are supporting a couple of initiatives that we think will help minority businesses grow and prosper. The first is money for grants to help businesses start up. We think this is an important part and should be provided in a way that will be constructive for businesses across the Commonwealth of Virginia, including our minority communities where access to capital has not always been easy. I also want to say that we think mentorship programs are important, and I want to compliment the Virginia businesses that are coming alongside small businesses throughout the Commonwealth to assist them in growing their business. I also want to recognize the organizations like the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce that we've been partnering with to advance their mission, as well as help them reach communities across the Northern Virginia area. And I also want to thank the Alliance Technology Consortium for participating in today's program as well. So in closing, thank you for allowing me to speak for a few minutes in your program. I hope that you find it constructive, thought-provoking, and it helps you create a brighter future for you and your business as you grow in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Have a great panel discussion.
At this time, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, the Alliance Technology Consortium, the Virginia Chamber of Commerce Foundation, CDP and Associates, and our Fairfax County Economic Development Center, who is a financial sponsor of the Chamber.
And at this time, I would love to introduce some of our panelists for today. I'm going to introduce each of them and then have them to speak a little bit about themselves. First, I'd like to introduce Mr. Joseph Parker, who is the founder of InSTEM Solutions Incorporated. Good afternoon, Joe.
Good afternoon, Caprice, and everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this. About 10 years ago, I started InSTEM Solutions because I wanted to do something different. And we built a company that provided solutions to other companies and to the government for problems they couldn't solve on their own. And we brought a quantitative approach to doing that by combining quantitative methods, seasoned, experienced engineers and scientists, and young people as well. And what we found was that we got a great environment for learning and coming up with solutions that no one else could think of. And we've expanded that to a couple of other companies as well. And we're just happy to be here today. So thank you so much for that. We are, again, I'm an undergraduate engineer, graduate system engineer, did some business studies, and I have enjoyed all of that over time. And that's why I don't work a day at all, because I love what I do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for being here. Next up, we have Roland Waddell. He is the producer and managing partner of Onyxx Communications, LLC. Afternoon, Roland.
Good afternoon, Caprice. Thanks for inviting me to this session, and I'm glad to be here. I spent my entire career in some way, shape, or form in media and entertainment, and somewhere around video. I majored in radio, TV, motion pictures at North Carolina back in ancient history. And I was able to witness the cable television industry by working at the Weather Channel and the Disney Channel, and the introduction of USA Today nationally. And that was the first half of my career in media and entertainment. And then I launched a out-of-home network called the Sports Information Network, which was my foray into the technology side of moving video and content. And I am excited to be here today because technology adoption has impacted media and entertainment, as all of us know, in some amazing ways.
Thanks, Roland. Glad to have you here. Last up, we have Juan Fernandez, the founder of Achieve Technology Solutions, LLC. Hey, Juan.
Hi, Caprice and audience. Achieve Technology Solutions was founded because we wanted to provide solutions to others. We wanted to help others grow. We have being able to assist the VA. We have been able to assist, believe it or not, the Pentagon Federal Credit Union, and we have had done a mix of private and government performance. Latest performance was with Johnson Controls, providing electronic security services. So we're here. I did 30 years of service with the Army Corps of Engineers. I have a degree in, believe it or not in engineering, but in business, a master's degree in international relations, and almost a doctorate in business. So I'm happy to be here and happy to share my experiences with the audience and with our partners.
Great, thank you so much. So why don't we just start and kick it off? Why don't we? We're here to talk about the impact of technology adoption on minority and the business community. So my first question to the panelists, starting with Joe, is what is technology adoption? Can you tell us what your thoughts are on that subject?
Yes, technology adoption really has no connection to how good technology is and or how well it works. It's really defined by how quickly the marketplace and people use it. And it breaks down into about 5 different phases when you think about it, where we look at it with the innovators, the people who are on the bleeding edge of technology, are willing to adopt things and use things quickly. And then the early adopters and the innovators and the visionaries, they are willing to take it when it becomes the cutting edge technology. And then the difference between that and the next stage are people who are really buying things out of the state of the marketplace. They're looking at it, people are using it, and so they're trying to get onto it, but haven't really grasped it at any point. And each one of these stages here, even these phases here, give you a little bit more adoption when it comes along as far as how people take it. But in between each one of these phases, there could be a chasm that sort of separates you from one phase to the other. And the job of communications and marketing and understanding and education is what bridges those gaps so that people can become adopters of technology over time. That's where I think it goes.
Good, thank you. Roland?
I echo everything Joe mentioned, and again, my prism of technology adoption is purely media and entertainment, and we all can remember the days when cable television systems, or some of us can on this call, can remember when cable systems were 12 channels, then they grew because of compression to 20 channels, and we thought that was fantastic, then 100 channels, and then today we have unlimited capacity and video on demand. And introducing all of those technologies was not easy because you had customer service reps that had various levels of comfort with new technology, and they had to explain the value of that to the consumer. And so that was a lot of fun witnessing that from the cable television industry, all the way to the introduction of the internet, where bandwidth hogs started presenting themselves. And and I think I was looking at a graph where 1984, typically 56 kilobits per second. And then by 2005, 100 megabits per second. And the relevance of all of that for the space I live in is that you have more choice. You have easier access, higher quality. We're able to do what we're doing today, which is have a virtual meeting and connect worldwide. So technology adoption for me is, as Joe pointed out, is not always about the technology. It's about meeting a need in the marketplace and helping educate people to jump over that chasm to start using it.
How about you, Juan?
Interesting, because in the adoption cycle of technology, we find people like a friend of mine back in 1996. I'm in Georgia now. I'm actually transmitting from Virginia from my daughter, but I was in Georgia at the time. And I had a friend of mine that he would jump. He had a computer like everybody else. We were explorers of technology at the time. And he had a computer and he would jump on every single piece of technology that would come out. For example, the 14.4, I believe, if I remember, if my mind doesn't trick me, the 14.4 modem just came out, and he would be an innovator. He would go buy it, bring it into the house, test it. He would do what we now call the beta guys, right? The technology explorers, the test bed. So he put it on. He had trouble integrating it and this, that, and the other, but he worked through it, and he adopted that technology immediately. And he did that almost with everything when it came to technology. The hard drives, the bigger, fastest hard drives, he would put it in the computer. And then for some of us, we would be probably at the end of the spectrum there, at the end of the bell curve, as skeptics, where unless it's fully tested, fully vetted, we won't bring it in. So The technology adoption cycle covers everything and everybody from one spectrum, end of the spectrum to another, and it affects what we do, especially as small businesses, because it would tell us where we are on the cycle and where to focus our efforts and how much to expect. I mean, if you can take a look at the curve, innovators are only about 2.5. So a technology that is at that stage is not going to have a lot of business. It's not going to make a lot of business, but we know that we are testing that technology. And at the reverse end, when we are selling a technology that is already being adopted by most people, then we will also be affected by what the decision that we make at that point.
Thank you, guys.
So any final comments before we move on to our next question for our panelists?
Well, sometimes the minority community is like a lot of organizations are willing to take the risk on things that are new when they see value in it, but then sometimes they're not. If you notice by the chart that we have here, you'll see that as far as number of devices owned, the African American community leads most of the population over most of the time for almost all the new things when they see the value in it. But sometimes we shy away from the risk of it. But for technology that fits what we're trying to do, we get into it right away, and that actually helps us in being able to help to solve problems with it because we become early adopters.
Again, I keep saying, I echo what Joe mentioned. Spot on when you look at smartphone, tablet, smart TV, even gaming consoles. From where I sit, it's a tremendous opportunity to attack knowledge is power. And an old quote that someone dear to me used to always say, which is, all we know is what we know, and that's not everything. Well, now YouTube is your friend and other locations are your friend. So now you can use all of the beauty of the early adoption of these technologies by the minority communities is that now you have the tools and now there's the content. So now you can marry the two. So you can improve that knowledge base in some meaningful ways. And the cost points, because there's so many places at which you can access content. Someone told me that you can now take a project management course online for like $25. And I won't name the provider, but yeah, they're looking at volume. So yeah, I think it's an exciting time.
I have nothing further to add except that it is to the minority community's advantage to be early adopters of technology, or be on the upside of technology rather than on the backside, because again, at the backside, technology is already changing. For something, probably, like Joe said, technology changes every 6 months. So to become a late adopter, to become a skeptic, will actually put us way behind the majority of the population.
I'm going to start with Roland. Roland, what are a few of today's significant technology trends that you've seen?
Again, I mean, my lens is media and entertainment and education. So I would say education, classroom technology, the ability to tap a professor who's a worldwide expert on microbiology and be able to share that professor's knowledge worldwide at the drop of a hat is amazing. And we have high-speed internet, compression of video, storage of data. I remember my first business venture, we were doing a sports content. We had a 486 PC, which some of the younger folks that are listening to this conference may not even know what a 486 PC is, or a 56K modem, but let's just say it's slow, it has no storage capability. So you couldn't, so it was pointless without, high-speed internet, storage, and high resolution to get anyone interested in any course. I'm super excited about those technologies expanding to the point where, we were at a Civil War battlefield in the middle of nowhere in early June with a bonded cellular modem, and we were able to point a camera at a ranger and deliver that ranger into 15 classrooms simultaneously, live. That's unheard of. So I think compression of video, high-speed internet, satellite, low Earth orbiting satellites, or we call them LEOs, are at low altitude, and most humans don't know about that right now, but let's just say that that's going to make bandwidth even more prolific. And the faster the bandwidth, the larger the storage capability, the higher the quality of content you get, whether it's education or entertainment.
Excellent. Thank you. Juan, what are your thoughts? What have you experienced?
Okay, so the significant technology trends that I have looked at, and I'm going to mention a few so that what we would be probably discussing is ranges from cloud computing, mobile apps, big data analytics, automation everywhere, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, cybersecurity, etc. Quantum computers coming up, smart technology, everything, smart technology coffee pot, I guess. All these technologies are making it so that we can collaborate faster, that we can actually, like Roland said, we can have a classroom, and everything is being compressed. I don't know if you won't be able to see this, but here's a cell phone, right? This cell phone used to be this big and heavy. Now in the palm of your hand, you have a cell phone that can do what that 486 used to take probably a day in doing, and they can do it in seconds. So the transfer of all this means we have to stay on top. We have the means to collaborate. We have the means to work from different areas, from home. Okay, and that's the significance that I see on all these technologies. It used to be you had to buy every single piece of software. Now you load Windows, and then everything else is a how they call it, a SaaS, a service as software as a service. So if you add all this, technology is actually changing the way we live, the way we work, the way we study. I remember taking my classes, all my classes, through video and the internet. Before, I had to go over to an actual classroom and spend some time there. Now I can do it from the house. Save me the time, save me money, save me all this. So technology is very significant in our lives, and the trend is that we can do much more, much faster, and it will continue to improve.
Great, thank you. Joe?
Yes, I agree with everyone said. But the speed of the internet, the ability to store things in the cloud, being able to collaborate and communicate almost at the speed of light is what's made most of these changes possible. We would not have done these things if we had not had that technology. Think about it for a second. We saw on that chart how long it took, almost 7 years for the internet even to be accepted by the public. But it had been around for a lot longer than that, but not necessarily available to the public. So now we have, when things become available to the public faster, mobile phones took 13 years to be adopted. But like Juan said, about instead of every 126 years, like for the industrial revolution, about every 126 days, we get a new cell phone advertised, because the technology moves that fast. But there are these trends for technology open the door for other things. But what we have to remember is that as we open the door for them, it is the use of that technology and how it solves the problem that gets people to really get behind it. So these technology trends like 5G, Internet of Things, and all of this opens the door to your own personal information. So we have cybersecurity comes along. We try to protect it, and all the things that come along with that. These are areas that we have to look at, not like they're new technology, but this becomes almost how we operate on a daily basis.
I think just to add on to what the gentleman said, if you look at the questions or the challenges that technology is trying to answer, make it available, make it easier for me, make it quicker, make it mobile so that I can be anywhere in the world and do what I need to do. These are the trends that the technology is going to answer these questions. If you look at something on a personal level, like Amazon, and how they're using their AWS and their supply chain management to really get your products out to you within hours sometimes, rather than weeks as it used to take before. Or if you look at, other business models and ERP systems in which we specialize, in which they're, again, trying to make the processes easier for management to handle different aspects of their business. So technology and the trends that it's serving, the problems that it's solving, I think is where we're headed, and trying to make sure that we can do things as quickly and easy as we possibly can. So I think I want to ask one more question of the team, if I can. So if I can, Juan, how do you think the current and upcoming technology trends, their biggest impact on the small and minority business community? How do you think that affects us in the coming years?
I got a few bullets over here that I would like to present. And one is technology and the trends will impact how we share and how we collaborate. Again, this at the beginning, this meeting was one of the things that was mentioned in terms of sharing and collaboration of data. It will actually provide us flexible work environments. My brother-in-law just got a job, and traditionally he would have loved to spend the time in the office. Well, the boss told him and say, you got 2 days in the office, you can stay 3 days at home. So he made himself a little corner in the house and made that his home office. So you got to be flexible. And now even the work environment is changing. There will be a lot more of these flexible work environments, meetings, solutions, etc. You have to be flexible. The technology provides for that. Another aspect that this technology and technology changes provide small businesses is instant connection with customers. Customers now can actually, you can text them, you can, and it's instant communication. You can text a customer back and forth. Do you really, hey, even the doctor sends you a reminder, say, hey, you are going to be in the office tomorrow, yes or no? So that prevents the doctor from having an empty slot. It makes it more efficient. Same thing with Amazon and everything that we know Amazon does in their website, and everybody else is adopting the same thing. Instant connection, constant connection with the customer. Online stores, we mentioned Amazon, but Walmart and many others, Costco and many of the big guys have stores. Not only you can go to the store and purchase, but also come purchase from the convenience of the sofa or the couch. Okay. The one last thing I would like to mention is employee training. So you can actually have a diverse, geographically dispersed workforce and get them all together in one single little classroom and train them in whatever topic. Training technically, train them, give them some human resources training. Some of the mandatory classes that we got, they're all probably now done through technology. So that's how I see technology affecting small businesses. And for us, small businesses, whether it is majority or minority, in this case, or our minority business, we need to keep up with the developmental stages of technology, because it affects what we do on a day-to-day basis.
Definitely. Joe, what are your thoughts on how the trends in technology are going to impact or are impacting small and minority businesses?
I don't disagree with either other gentleman, what they said. I believe that it will have an impact on the small business depending how we react to it. Knowing that all the things that we talk about are things that are here today and they're just getting better. So adoption of that bothers a little bit, but we can't be afraid to look at things that are coming. We still have to be well versed on things like machine learning and artificial intelligence. We have to be looking at edge computing, quantum computing, virtual reality, and where those things will take us. And when they take us, when we learn about those things, if you notice, the three of us all sort of still working in areas where we were originally trained, when you think about it, in our undergraduate schools and our graduate schools and our PhD programs, we stayed in that area or something around that. So as a business owner, while I'm a great systems engineer and a business owner, I do not understand communications and marketing. I studied at Harvard Business School. I know what it does, but I'm just not that good at it. So what I have to be willing to do as a small business, I can't do everything, but I have to be willing to join in partnerships with other people who carry those kind of expertise. So that for the small businessman, if he just stayed in technology he knew 20 years ago, it will not help him. Being a lifelong student has helped me a lot, because there were, and I hate to say this, but between, let's see, my undergraduate degree and my first graduate degree was only about 5 years. But between that last one and my next graduate degree was 25 years. And so it's one of those things where if we continue to be lifetime learners first, and then be willing to share what we've learned with other small businesses that have other expertise. When I'm looking, I understand, I love the data slide that was up here, but I know that Ms. Ayers is the queen of data, and she knows exactly about analysis and how to present it to you. But she takes, we do all these things high speed, all this computing gives us a lot of data. But we have to present that to people so they can understand it. So she analyzes that and uses that to present it to you, so you can be able to apply it to what you're doing, and so that it simply tells a story that has a solution in it. And when we are willing to do that kind of thing, so big data may be something that people see as new technology, she still uses it as she would in any part of her business. So I'm not going to I know how we do analysis all the time, and I can learn how to analyze data, but I'm just not good at presenting it and making it tell the story. So when I need that, I will go to Dr. Ayers and she will help me with that because that's her expertise. And same thing with marketing. I go to Roland for that because I don't have that. So as a business now, as a partnership, we can take on, we can grow, we can develop, and we can build capacity on both sides as long as we're willing to share. So small businesses in the minority community have to be willing to do that.
Well, thank you, Joe, for all the beautiful compliments. They get you everywhere. But yes, I totally agree with you. Roland, what do you think in terms of how the impact will be on the minority and small businesses in terms of technology?
Well, I'm super excited about the fact that you can aggregate information among, individually and as a group pretty seamlessly with a variety of tools that have been created, software, cloud-based solutions out there. And then that information can be searched and retrieved thanks to Google and other competitors to Google, YouTube and such, and that you can gain immediate feedback from a course or from a posting from any variety of social media platforms, real time, and that you can, and then for young people, and I'm the father of 3 sons, and I'm very concerned about how they remain relevant or become relevant. In one case with my youngest, how he becomes relevant to the job market and how he determines where he can get a foothold into the job market, internships, whether they're paid or not, job opportunities once, well before graduation, ideally, through internships. But, so technology platforms allow that to happen. And I guess the last thing I would say is, as a minority business owner, I am just happy that you can. We're working on a feasibility study for a particular product, and in the span of 2 weeks, we have learned more from experts around the world who've forgotten more about that particular product and its application. It's amazing. Without the technology, we could have never made that much progress for the customer who's looking at expanding a plant, adding personnel to work inside the plant, salespeople to go sell the product, folks who might be willing to take the product, customers. So the technology is there, and I just think that I saw someone put a chat note up about how do small businesses use the new technology, how do they choose, and I think that's maybe a slight missing link in the universities, in the academic community, is that I'd like to see a lot of the academic institutions do a better job of introducing students to using the technology that's out here to gain information and to share what they know, by the way, so that they can start marketing themselves before they become juniors and grad students. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
No, I think that was a good segue into that question. So one of our guests asked, how do we figure out what is the best technology to use for their business if they don't have that knowledge in-house? So if I were to answer that question, one of the things that my company does is that we consult with businesses to talk about what are your challenges in terms of your processes, your actual system needs. And we go through the analysis to figure out what is best suited for you. One of the things I would recommend is that if you have a particular need, that you reach out. There are a number of vendors that will supply consulting services to you just to talk about what is your current state. Do you have business processes in place to run things like your HR section, your payroll, your finance? How are you doing your accounting? In that regard, there are a number of different ERP vendors that you can reach out to just to help you figure out, am I ready to move to the cloud? Should I have things in-house? Do I need someone to handle my social media? So that's where I think during these sessions, we can also help you to answer those questions.
If I may add to the question that Lance poses, is you're always looking at one of the things that technology has provided us with is specialization. So you will always be looking for a third or fourth opinion on which technology is best for you, and you gotta think that different businesses are at different stages of development. So cloud computing solutions might be good for a very large business, but it might not be necessary or meaningful for a smaller business or a business at X, Y, Z or stages. So normally let somebody know that you have a problem. Just echoing Caprice, talk to somebody in the echo chamber, in the community, especially the Black Chamber of Commerce. We've been doing different things. We're still doing, like Joe said, mostly of what we did or what we trained for so many years ago, but we are permanent in students, I guess, students forever of technology and how technology is evolving and whether it applies and what situations it will apply to. Whatever I might not have an expertise, I would probably never sit down and say, hey, I don't know which of these two cloud providers, Microsoft or Amazon, is best. But there is somebody that has already done the study and can probably tell us. You are, and will ask us to say, what is your stage in life? Are you a mature business? Are you a startup? And here is the solution that probably I would go with. And then you have to make your own assessment, of course. You have to make your own decision.
And we have a little bit of time. Can we talk a little bit about cyber resiliency in today's world?
But before we go to that, Sheila, I also want to say that no matter where you are, if don't look at the next bright and shiny object just to adopt it because it's there. You want to make sure that your business will benefit from that. You know, technology business have a different approach to doing things. As a solutions company, and like Caprice's company, we're doing things that sit out on the cutting edge for things, so we can help people understand that. But I don't want people to go out. I don't want people to think you have to go out and adopt the newest technology just because it's there. The bright and shiny object may not solve your problem. But so you have to make sure you quantify the problem before you start to look for a solution. Forgive me, Sheila, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. No, that speaks to Paul's point. You know, with each technology, you must learn the key performance parameters, plus have the knowledge and the reputation of the company that you want to use. But as a small business owner, say for, you know, a mom and pop, how do they know what's there to help them understand what technology they need to embrace for their organization?
I talked before about this thing about partnering and sharing. You talk to folks who are doing that. You try to find someone who has some experience, and I recommend at least 2 or 3. Just listen to them, and you may find your answer, but it may be more complicated. But most times you'll find people that will help you see, based on what you're trying to achieve, what's best for your particular application. A lot of people are afraid of cloud computing because it's new, and they go out and buy a bunch of computers and want to connect them because they want to own it and think that keeps them safe from cybersecurity and gives them resilience, but maybe not. You know, adopting a multi-cloud approach may be the answer to that, rather than trying to build your own. So it's all about what your business is trying to achieve.
Great. So I think we have a little bit of time. Do we want to touch a little bit on cyber resiliency?
I think just to touch on that point, we do have a few sessions in the future that really dive really into cyber and cyber health. But I think for all businesses, if you're dealing with any type of data, whether it be customer data, very personal data, health data, that you want to make sure that you have some type of processes in place to secure that data. You have some type of repetitive processes that you can repeat, that you can teach your staff to make sure that they're doing things in a secure manner. It may be something as simple as how are they sending emails? How are they sending out customer information in an email? So you do want to make sure that for your business, you do have some type of cyber policies in place. Of course, as well as some type of software, if possible, to help you secure your network as well as your infrastructure. So there are a number of things that I think businesses do have to take in consideration when it comes to that space, especially as we move now into this new century in which we're, I think one of my alma maters was just a victim of ransomware last week. So it is very important.
Very important indeed that you safeguard your data and your information, and that you have that you take no shortcuts when it comes to security of your information and the information of your customers. Anything from legitimate software in your computers to your antivirus and malware software, that you have something that protects you and your customers, because they will be we as small businesses, we are probably not a big target yet, but if one of our clients is a big client, somebody will come after us just to get to the big guys.
I would,
and also we see that we can have the most robust infrastructure as far when it comes to cybersecurity in the world, but we don't keep our staff and employees well educated as to how to use that. We put together this great infrastructure to protect us, and at the same time, we have to care enough about our staff and our employees so that we keep them well versed at all, so they don't be the one who opens the back door. You can put as many locks on as many doors you want to, but if someone leaves a door open, it'll be easier for the adversary to get in. And Juan, I might disagree with one thing on you, and that is the easiest way for people to gain information on new technologies is not going after the big guy. It is coming after the small business owner.
Where we agreed, because that's what I said. We might not be the big guys that they are going to get, but one of our clients might be a big guy, and they are coming after us so that they can actually get to the big guy. But they will see us because of our immature processes. They would probably see us as the key to that lock, opening the lock into bigger and other places where they can exploit.
I guess I would say this is sort of a little bit of a pause from the cyber resiliency discussion to more to technology and how minority businesses can benefit. And I think one thing that every business, regardless of how large you are, you should know your customer, and business intelligence is very critical. And there's so many ways to extract business intelligence from your customer profile, but you need to be able to keep track of your customer CRM, customer relationship management, or and you can, now those are all cloud-based. So those out there that are small and you're thinking, oh my goodness, a CRM is going to be too expensive for me. Not necessarily anymore, thankfully. There are very cost-effective CRM programs out there that you can do, and I would strongly advise everybody, if you don't have a CRM in place, get one in place. Even if you're selling, even if you're selling flavored popcorn, it's good to have something in place so you know who your customers are, and you can remarket, retarget, drop some other things on you. So retargeting is something that is a trend. And so let me give you an example. So if any of you have ever visited any website, if you ever noticed that when you go to Home Depot and look for something at Home Depot, whenever you depart homedepot.com and you launch a browser to do something else totally unrelated, up pops a Home Depot ad. Well, that's called targeting, retargeting, remarketing. And that's something that a lot of minority companies, minority-owned businesses need to understand better, because that can be implemented. And I'm sure there are folks on this panel like Caprice who can help you figure that out, or Joe, or could help you figure that out. But from a marketing perspective, being able to stay in touch with your customer and develop and build a rapport is critical, which is something that has always been very challenging for minority businesses.
Thank you, gentlemen. Paul, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, I did. And it's related to the last couple of comments. I'm glad you used the term cyber resilience, first of all, because cybersecurity sometimes leads people into a misnomer that they actually think they can be secure. And between your employees, and remember, the bad guys only have to be smart once. And to Juan's point, if I'm going to attack, I'm always going to go to the weakest link in the chain. And that's why you're going to, in a future session, we're going to talk about what the federal government is doing with CMMC, which is cybersecurity certification, maturity model certification. And the whole thing is about making sure that you as a small business are going to be worthy and protecting, and not that key, as Juan says, that they get in through. And then the business intelligence, I can't tell you how important that is to help you get a profile and a much deeper understanding of who your prime customer is with their profile. Because once you have that with this technology, it doesn't just have to be in your local village. You now can take that profile and look at it across the world to increase, potential market value, getting folks around the world that want what you have, because now you better understand who that customer is that's looking for you. So that was the only comments that I'd like to add. And again, thanks everybody for participating in all those good things. This has been great from my perspective.
Yes, thank you. And I believe Ruben had a question, and then we'll give everybody a couple minutes of their time back for the day. Ruben?
Hi, how are you? Enjoying the dialogue. I just had one quick question. If you want to follow up, that's fine in our next session. And the folks have been mentioning about partnering with different companies around the cybersecurity issue and other, I guess even customer management partners with respect to technology. If the panelists could give one or two insights that they use to evaluate, and I'll just give you an example. So I'm an office manager for a law firm, and I've been getting a lot of cold calls from different folks. And for instance, a specific cybersecurity company has called, and we've communicated. And I'm a pretty good technology guy, but I'm just trying to figure out how do I do my due diligence on them and all of that. So a couple, if you could give one or two pointers on how you evaluate which partner you should choose and all that sort of thing.
So for different aspects, so for different applications or product lines, for example, for the CMMC, that is a cybersecurity maturity model certification that the federal government will be requiring all businesses to have to do business, as Paul was mentioning. There is actually a marketplace that officially registered businesses that the board has found to be dutiful in order to be listed. There's a marketplace where you can look to see if they're listed. Is the company listed as a registered provider? Do they have staff on hand internally that are actually certified to be CMMC professionals or assessors? Those are some of the things you can do if you're looking at a particular product line like a Microsoft product line. You can look and see on their marketplace who are their official certified partners. Things like that. In certain areas of technology, you can look out to the accredited body to see, is this business actually legit? Take a look at their website. How long have they been in business? Do they list some of their major customers? Who are those customers? Are they willing to give you references if you ask for a customer reference, just to talk about, what services they provided to someone else? Those are a few suggestions that I would offer.
Great. Thank you, Caprice. We have probably about a minute left, and I want to make sure that we're prompt and give everyone their time, but just wanted to thank everybody for being on the call today. I also want to thank our sponsors again, the Alliance Technology Consortium, the Virginia Chamber of Commerce Foundation, CDP and Associates, and Fairfax County Economic Development Authority. Next week, our session will begin at 11 o'clock. And we're going to talk about small business and big data, data analytics, and artificial intelligence. So we would ask that you reach out to your networks and invite them to our call for next week. So thank you, Caprice, Joe, Roland, Juan, Paul, thank you so much. And of course, thank you to Michael, who is behind the scenes helping us out today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Have a good
everybody.
one.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bless you all.